Good evening, everyone. Can you all hear me? Hi, good evening, Pradnesh. So I have Divya, Arantika, Pradnesh, Chandrakant, and I'm sure a few more are going to join in. Om Prakash is there. Okay. Let's just give couple of minutes for everyone to join in. And meantime, if you could also help me in the chat window, just write your what you're doing currently. What this is for a freshers, this is session for freshers, so I'm not expecting any work experience. Just let me know which college, which stream you are currently pursuing, or if you're a pass out, then from which stream are you a pass out of. You anyone can start. Pradnesh, Arantika, Chandrakant, Om Prakash. So Pradnesh, your diploma Tiva in computer science from Polytechnic Solapur. Okay, great. What about others? Pursuing BTech Computer Science, JP Institute of Information and Technology. Okay, so to computer science people. And what about Chandrakant and Arantika, Om Prakash, Meena? You guys are also computer science guys, all engineers. BSc Statistics. Okay, Ramlal, wonderful. I have been to Ramlal College for one of the workshops. So it was a workshop, yeah, that we did over there a couple of years back. All right. And final year student branch IT from Xavier's Mumbai. Wonderful. So welcome guys. So we have welcome to this session of data science journey for freshers. Let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Ishani. I'm one of the directors over here at IB. Plus, I'm also the trainer for a lot of tools. I teach advanced Excel. I teach VBA, which is automation of Excel through scripting languages and visualization tools like Power BI and Tableau. So that's where what my role is in analytics. Okay. So why we have kept this session? Lot of time guys, like a lot of engineers, a lot of people from IT background or statistical background hear about data science. Either their seniors are working in an analytics company or someone in the family has started working in an analytics company. And you can see that this is a good venue for you to also kickstart your career. So a lot of people come inquire, but very few people understand exactly what data science is all about, what analytics is all about. So we thought, why not do a quick session to make you understand what is analytics, and once you got educated in what is analytics, then what can I do in analytics? Because it's not just like if you do data analytics or there's only one fixed thing that you can do in it. There are so many variety of roles that we can do in analytics that it's amazing. So depending on where your heart lies, which tool you loved working with, what was easy to learn, just like how you have in colleges, right? You must be dealing with 7, 8 subjects, but few subjects become our favorite. And that's where we excel. So same thing happens in data science also. It's not just one tool we work with. We work with variety of tools. So I'm going to talk about what is analytics. I'm going to talk about what are the roles that you will get as a fresher in analytics. And depending on the role that you're aiming for, what are the basic skill sets that you absolutely need? All right. So that is what we are going to do. And once we have dealt with that, hold on 1 second. All right. Sorry for that. So we are going to talk about depending on which role, what are the key skill sets that you require, and then we are also going to talk about how do I, as a fresher, start of my journey in analytics so that I can, once I've done enough training or self learning and got the skill set that we are talking about, how do I get a job ultimately? All right. So let's start off. And in between, wherever you guys have questions, please feel free to ask. Okay. So quick introduction about Ivy also. We have been in the market. We have been the market leaders since 2008 in analytics. We have branches in 6 cities, trained more than 22,000 people, do a lot of corporate training in analytics, and do a lot of retail training in analytics as well. Like you can see some of the clients that are mentioned on this website, on this slide, like Coca-Cola, Honeywell, PwC, Capgemini, Accenture, Future Group, HSBC, Genpact, ITC, few names that you know, which are very commonly you must have heard about. So we do training for these guys as well. And these guys, since they understand our training methodology, they understand the quality that we impart in our students, they are also kind of work as our hiring partners as well. Okay. So if anybody can help me out and tell me what is your idea when you think about data science, when you think about analytics, what comes to your mind? What do you think it is? For you, what is analytics? You can use your mics.
Analysis of data.
Analysis of data. And why are we analyzing the data? Suddenly we have started analyzing the data, right? It's not that data wasn't there, it was always there. But now we want to sit and store all the type of data that we get. So what do you think we do when you say we analyze the data? What do we do and why do we do the analysis part? Why do you think this has become one of the you know most sought after job, or why people are calling that data is the new oil? I'm sure you must have heard about all these things, right? Data is the new oil, the sexiest job of 21st century, and so on and so forth. Have you heard about these things? Have you read about these? No? All right, no problem. So let me explain to you in a very, very simple language what analytics means to me. So I have got a lot of historical data. Like someone said, you want to analyze the data, right? So which data do we analyze? Something that has happened in the past. So each and every company is trying to gather as much data as possible. Now that companies have understood that yes, data can help me in my future goals. So now it's not even they're bifurcating on which data to store and which not to store. Everybody is moving towards digitization of their businesses. So the data gets collected. Now, once the data is collected, what do we do with it? The very first thing we'll do it on it is something called descriptive analytics. Now, what does descriptive analytics mean? It means I want to find the patterns or insights into my data to see what has happened in the past. If there is an interesting pattern in my data, very simple example, when do these malls, or when do all these shops or online e-commerce companies also, when do they give sales and discounts? Have you seen a pattern as being a consumer or a user of these goods? When you go to malls, now I know very few people go to malls these days, but you go online and you see there are certain periods where there will be a lot of discount. Any shop you go, there's a discount. Have you seen that pattern? Have you seen around what occasions do we get more discounts? Chandrakant, what do you think? When do we get discounts?
Uh, During festivals, ma'am.
During festivals. Excellent. We get discounts during festivals, right? And why is that? Because people are trying to bind that side, right? Think about Diwali, think about Eid, all these festivals when people are celebrating. This is in our culture. This is what we do. We go and buy new clothes, we'll buy new products and things like that. So there is a pattern. So all this pattern that we are doing based on our experience or based on our understanding or observation is actually told to us by the data also. So all this pattern finding, finding insight, what has happened in the past, what is right, what is wrong, what did not work for us, that is what we do in the second step. And the final step, what we are going to do is we are going to make some predictions for the future. Again, I'm going to take a very simple example. Does anybody have a credit card over here? Anyone of you have credit card? I know you're college going students, so you may or may not. How do you think, let's say, how do you think a bank decides that I am going to offer a credit card to this person? Is it, what do you think? Is it like I take the roster of all the population and start giving a call that, hey, you're eligible for a free credit card, and these are the, you know, privileges that you will get? Or do I send emails to everyone saying there's a free credit card, please avail it? Do you think it should be offered to everyone, or it would be offered to everyone? Whatever comes to your mind, yes, I think it should, or no, I don't think so, it does. What do you guys think? Simple example. So credit card would not be offered to everyone. Why it would not be offered to everyone would be because of the marketing cost involved in it. So you understand, if I try to call everyone, I need a manpower who's sitting and giving a call. That's number one. If I'm sending emailers, or even if I'm sending paper mails to the people to take up the credit card, again, I'm putting a lot of cost in it. So when we do marketing, is the marketing supposed to be for everyone, or should it be targeted? This is not your college exam that you are afraid of answering me. What do you think? Marketing would be, it would be targeted, right? And Arantika has also added targeted towards people with stable income and who can pay the bill. Exactly. Very important point, Arantika. It's not that I want people who want to spend on my credit card. I also want the people who is going to pay me the money back, right? So now how do we decide who are these people that I want to extend my credit card to? So that's where my previous data comes into handy. So I have the old data where I have the entire customer profile of, let's say, Amit, who ages, let's say, 28. His income is, let's say, 70,000, living in Delhi, and more details about his finance, having a CIBIL score of this. He has defaulted, right? Did not pay back the credit card bill. And such, I have lakhs and lakhs of previous data. From that lakhs of previous data, we create a profile saying that if it's a male or female with this age group, with this kind of income, with this CIBIL range, CIBIL score range, is my ideal customer. And these are the kind of people I should be extending my credit card and try to make them my customer. So is it clear? One is we pick the data, we understand the data, we understand what has happened in the past. And the second thing we are trying to do is we are trying to understand how we are going to do, or how we are going to aim for the future. Make sense? Yeah. So let's move ahead. So what are the, let's say, what are the various roles that you see in analytics? Like I said, you know, it's not just one particular thing that you can fit into. There are multiple roles in analytics, and depending on what you're good at, or what you found interesting to start your career with. That is what you should aim at. So the very, very basic thing that we can all start working with is something called MIS reporting analyst. Who are the MIS reporting analysts? The guys who are working with Excel, let's say extract the data, put the data in Excel, create reports and summaries, and send it out to the higher management. So these people are not the decision makers, or these are not even the people who are bothered about, okay, if I've created this report, what does it tell me? How does it affect my business? What decision can I take? So these guys are not doing that. Okay, simply collecting the data, converting into a report or summary, and sending for someone else to review it. So these kind of profiles, what we need, absolutely need as a skill set is Excel, SQL, VBA, because a lot of time the data is very distorted when it comes to us. So we need to clean up the data, prep the data before we can even use it. Second type of profile can be in the visualization industry. Okay, and this is a big industry at this point. Now, what does a data visualization guy do? It takes all the data, uses softwares like Power BI, Tableau, ClickView, and converts that information into graphs. When you look at the data versus you look at the graph, which one do you guys find easier to understand, a graph or the data? Like, say, if I give you 200 rows of data versus I give you a graph which talks about that 200 rows of data, which one would you find easier to work with? You'll definitely find graph easier to understand, right? And that's the reason this industry has become very big. Why? Because a lot of industries are trying to get into analytics, or companies are saying, okay, I have a lot of data. I get calls from my clients all the time when they say, well, I'm sitting on this marketing data of 5 years, but I have not analyzed it yet. So what should I analyze in it? So we help these guys to understand what has happened, what are the patterns, what is the business actually like, through something called dashboards. Have you heard about dashboards? Anybody have heard about the term dashboards? Even if you think about newspapers, newspapers, any kind of media that you guys look at, you will see nowadays things have changed. When I was growing up, our newspaper was pretty much black and white. Now we have graphs, we have, like, if you're going to talk about COVID, I know we all are so sick and tired of hearing about it, but we get a India map, we get colors on the map. When you talk about elections, so colorful description of everything is given to us. Why? Because everybody can understand it easily. So what are the skill set that we require, or the tool knowledge? We require Excel, we require SQL, we require any of the power, visualization tool like Tableau, Power BI, or ClickView. A lot of tools are there. Then we come into the modeling world, right? Modeling world is the one in which we are doing future predictions. So for this part, we need Excel stats. Stats is very, very important in this portion. If you're coming from a statistical background, you have an upper edge over here, because then you understand the theory behind the models. And now what you have to do is apply the theory behind using one of the tools like R, Python, or SAS, and come up with a business solution. So you start with a business problem, apply your statistical understanding on the data, and come out with a business solution. Or we can get into big data analysts. This is very good for engineers. So I know few are engineers, few are statisticians. For engineers, this is good, especially if you like programming. I know of many computer engineers who are computer engineers, but they hate programming. So if you are coming from that background and you still like programming, this can be a good suitable option for you, where you have to learn Excel, SQL, Stat, R, Python, and also work with big data through Hadoop. Then we have data scientists. So one of the hottest terms that everybody is using in the industry, data scientist. People are using terms like machine learning, artificial intelligence, deep learning. All these things are like very hot in the market right now. And from whatever you have to learn, additional thing is you have to also have the understanding of machine learning algorithms. You talk about supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforced learning. So these things you should know about. Okay. When you talk about artificial intelligence, you talk about TensorFlow. So all these are mandatory for you to know them. Now, another thing that if you're reading in the data science forums or you're looking on the website, very, very new thing is coming up is data engineering. Now, why this data engineering is coming up? Because the data that we've accumulated is a lot. So we need a specialized guy even to handle the data, to channelize the flow, to understand the storage process, the retrieval process of the data. So if you go online, try to do this thing, go to Indeed or go to any of the, Naukri.com and just search for openings for data engineers. And you will see right now, pretty much every company in India is hiring for data engineers. And again, you guys who are coming from computer backgrounds, you are very, very suitable for this particular program or this particular career, in which you have to work with SQL, Python, MongoDB, Apache Spark, Snowflakes, and Snowflake is again something new in the industry. So a lot of people are trying to learn it, trying to implement it. Okay. Any questions from this slide that you have? Any of the roles that you want to talk about? You have questions around it? And sometimes, you might not know what I want to be. Trust me, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a doctor. I ended up being a civil engineer, and now I'm training and in analytics consultant. So, life has changed. Never thought I would be talking to people or doing interaction like this. So we might not know what we love till we start experimenting, and eventually we will get to, have a good understanding of where we want to end up. Okay. Next thing is, my slide doesn't want to move. Next, I want to talk about, I wanted to talk about the roles that you guys can go for. As being a fresher, you get hired as a consultant, as an associate, as an analyst. So the roles might, the name, the title that you get might differ from company to company. Junior analyst, entry-level analyst, and so on and so forth. Or if your machine learning is good, you will be getting hired as a data scientist, or you're going to get as a data engineer. So these are the typical three, roles in the company that you will get into. Now, in order to get into any of the role, what are the skill sets that I absolutely require? Let's say I want to become a consultant or an analyst. I don't want to get into machine learning world. I'm not good with programming, so I don't want to get into data engineering world. So what do I need? I absolutely need Python, R, Excel, SQL, statistics. Very important. It's like, I would say SQL and statistics pretty much are becoming the backbone of our industry. Very strong problem solving skills. This is very important because see what happens when you are going to start working. It is not going to be that, okay, someone will come and say, Anita, this is the data. Why don't you do step 1 to step 10 and first use this, then you use this, then you use this. It doesn't work like this in corporates. So how will it work? I will have a business problem to solve. And with the data that I have got, and with my tool set, with my acumen of the business, as well as the tools and analytics skill sets, I will have to come up with a business solution. So I am basically a problem solver for other businesses. So my business solving skills have to be good. Okay. I have to be good in my written and verbal communication, because what I feel about the business and the data might be a little different than the other analysts think. So when I'm trying to convince my client, when I'm trying to present my work to the client, I have to be assertive. I have to tell him about the business solution in the simplest format that he can understand, because these guys might not be data literate guys, right? They are business owners. They understand the language of business. So our communication skills also matter a lot. And last but not the least, attention to detail. So you have seen that it's not just, okay, if I get certificates, if I get, or if I do training, I have mugged up all the technical skill set, I'll get job. Probably not. We have to exhibit the other aspects of soft skills also. If you want to become, seem to be some problem with my, okay. If you want to become a data scientist, now what are the absolutely required skill set? Python, mandatory. Just like how I said statistics is important and SQL is important. In this, I would say statistics, mathematics, Python, absolutely required. R, Excel, SQL, statistics, machine learning algorithms, your problem solving skills. Again, verbal and written communication and strong attention to detail. Okay, so this altogether, and I have missed one point. Actually, mathematics is also an important component for a data scientist. So if you are good in programming, you might not be like a Java or a .NET developer kind of a person also. But if you've done C, C++, is a decent amount of programming, you love mathematics, definitely by learning all these skill sets, you should be able to grab a job in as a data scientist. And then okay, I'm just going to move it like this. Then we have the big data engineers, where I will require things like Python. Now, some new terminologies are going to come up: cloud computing, Excel, SQL. If you know how to work in a Linux environment, that's always an added advantage. You should have a programming background. That is going to give you a good start. Problem solving skills, written and verbal communication, and attention to details. So these are like very, very important, crucial things that I should absolutely know. Okay, I'm just giving you a higher up thing. I'm not going in very detail exactly what in SQL or exactly what in cloud computing that we should know of. Now let's come to the main slide, which is how do I attract recruiters? Because that's why you guys are here. You want to understand that if I put X amount of money in any kind of training, if I'm investing my time in learning a new skill set, which is not part of my curriculum right now, what is the usage of it? Will I get hired or not? Will I get a job or not? That's what runs in everybody's mind. So how are we going to attract the recruiters? What is the process? First thing first, we need to acquire the skill set that we spoke about. So it may be that, okay, I need all my technical skills. It may be that I need some soft skills development. If my communication skills is not strong, I need to work on that. If my presentation skills are not strong, I need to work on that. Whatever are my weaknesses in terms of these skill sets discussed, we should improve it. Once you're ready with your technical knowledge, with your soft skills, next thing is you have to start working on case studies from open data sources. So there are sources like Kaggle, there are places like Data World. Many companies have these competitions and hackathons that are going on. We can get a lot of data from their past, competitions. So get data from open sources, and this is not dummy data sets. These are data sets of past of various companies that has been collected. They can be some live data sets also. Okay, start working on the networking. So be active on LinkedIn, have a good LinkedIn profile, connect with different professionals in the kind of companies that you want to get into. You may be connecting with your professors who are somehow active in this industry. You may connect with your fellow students, have a chit chat with them over there, related to analytics, related to whatever you're doing right now, also related to statistics or engineering. You can connect to the recruiters, you can connect to the professionals out there. So you have to start networking, build a base for yourself. Once that base has been built, then you should start showcasing your projects on LinkedIn. This is super important. What I've seen while, in my career of 13 years of, teaching and making sure people are getting hired, whoever has done projects, whoever has done hands on case study, apart from the regular case study that any institute would give, and made it attractive and showed it out on LinkedIn. Those are the people who got recruited first. And the best thing about it is that the recruiters will notice you and you don't have to chase the recruiter so much. So focus on your LinkedIn, focus on how to create a project, how many projects, and try to post it on LinkedIn too. And if you don't have a network, nobody is going to look at it. That's why I said first do networking, create a network, then you start posting. People will like, people will comment. There are some wonderful mentors in this industry who will give you suggestions for improvement. You can tag also, like a lot of people tag me saying for your review, they put up their projects on LinkedIn and I have to review and put a comment that, okay, how to improve, or if it's a very good product, then yes, it's a great product. And last, then you start creating your resume. But a fresher's resume, when I, typically when I've looked at a fresher resume, it has marks and max to max 1 or 2 internships. And then I see all the personal details, father's name, address, languages known, date of birth, hobbies that are not even relevant to analytics. Now, I'm not going to hire you as a recruiter just based on that you've done a particular, you might have done a particular course at some institute and you have this percentage. I am going to recruit a fresher who shows passion towards the industry. If you are not passionate about the work, if you're not passionate of the industry, there are tens and thousands of resumes that are coming in the company every day. So what makes your resume so special? So that's why when you're creating a resume, you need to create a resume based on the role that you're applying. If I'm trying to become a visualization guy, then I should talk about the tools like Tableau, Power BI, ClickView. I should have projects related to it. I should have my LinkedIn, the links over there so that the person can easily go and look at my work on LinkedIn. And it's a validation of your knowledge. It's a validation of, yes, I know it. So that should be on your resume. One more thing that I don't see people doing these days, but when I was in college, we were kind of trained to, back then, not all the things went in email. So we were even taught to the extent of what is the thickness of the paper on which you should print your resume and send it across. Okay. And what I don't see people doing nowadays is they blindly send their resumes. Any opening, send a resume. Any company, send a resume. The role name is marketing analytics and your resume objective is, I want to become a financial analyst. All these minor things that you might think, oh, I missed it, it's a slight mistake. It's not a slight mistake. That's the first line the recruiter is looking at. And he or she is not going to read a second or a third line to get impressed by your resume anymore. They're going to simply throw it away, take the next in line. Okay, so I feel that once I've understood my strength, I know which are the companies. I should look into the profile of the company, make a list for myself, and then based on exactly what the requirement is, create my resume around that. Have the keywords of that company's opening in my resume. Okay, if you do not make resume specific to roles, specific to companies, the chances are you left it to the luck, completely to the luck. There's no technical aspect of your job hunting there. And then what is the final thing? Final thing is apply. And then start giving your interviews. All right. Any questions till now? You guys have been super silent. Any questions you have? So what is machine learning? So machine learning is in a very simplistic manner, if I have to explain. So what used to happen in the past, we got the data, past data, historical data. A person is sitting and creating model on top of it and getting an outcome and sending it. So if one person is working, one model is there, second person is working, second model is there, but the data is not changing. The data is remaining the same. Nowadays, what is happening that we have to do analysis based on as and when the data is coming in. And as and when the data is coming in, we have to work on the data and give an output. A simple example. Have you heard about Google Assist? Divya, have you heard about Google Assist or Siri? Yeah. Google Assist, like on your phone, Android phones, you can have when you can, talk, and you can say, okay, fix an appointment for 3 p.m. kind of a thing, and they give you a reminder, or even you can talk about, call, let's say, mainland China and get a reservation done for 8 p.m., something like that. So, okay, let's take a much simpler example. Let's say you're on Facebook, Divya. Yeah. So what happens on Facebook? You are liking, you are writing comments, you are putting GIFs over there, and so on and so forth, right? So depending on whose post you're liking, depending on what kind of post you are doing, what kind of friends post you are liking, and things like that, Facebook kind of creates a profile of you. Okay, so let's say you have some statistics articles or some IT or programming things that you have joined as a group. So as soon as you do all these things, all the data collected by you, right, from you rather, not by you, it creates a profile, and instantly, as in when you're doing something, an output is there. Simple example, your friend has posted something related to, let's say, analytics, and you like it and you comment it. Instantly, that data makes you a target for any analytics company which is trying to market their products. So that what is happening, it's happening at that same instance. It's not that Divya had clicked 4 days back and now I am going to show you the ads for it. You understand, Divya? So as in when the data is churning in, we have already machine learning, we have taught the machine. We are making machine learn. How we are making machine learn? Through the past data, right? But it's not that the data is going to be remaining the same. So they have to build an algorithm that as in when data is coming, how do you, yes, observe this in Instagram. Yes, any social media. And that's why you see people are heavily marketing on social media these days, because these are like instant outputs. Think about if I put a billboard on a road to understand, okay, whether the person came to me. I really can't understand what is the return on my investment over there, because I don't know who saw. He doesn't know where he saw. But when you talk about digital marketing, I know exactly what is the footprint on my website. I know how many people clicked on my ad, how many people stayed, how many said yes, how many responded from it. So these kind of things, this data collection, instant data collection and working on it, this is becoming very, very popular. I hope, Divya, some bit of understanding of machine learning has is there now. So think about it as a live data churning process. Okay, so it's not going to a person is sending to another person, and then we are creating bots. Okay, so this is what I had for you. A little bit, I'm going to talk about the programs at Ivy. So we have a wonderful program which is done in conjunction with NASSCOM, which is a government agency. And, they have a very rigorous process of selecting the institutes and specific programs. It's not that they are going to go give a joint certification for all. So we have a joint certification with NASSCOM with data science, machine learning, and Tableau. So you get to learn Python, R, SQL, Excel, machine learning tools, AIDL, and the visualization tool of Tableau in this particular program. Then we have our data science and machine learning AIDL program. So in this case, there's no visualization tools involved. Then we have data science with only visualization, where we don't want if you don't want to focus on machine learning, or if you don't think, yes, this is what I want to do, you can simply do a data science with visualization. Then we have big data analytics. This is specifically, I would say, if you're coming from IT background, If you're coming from as a computer engineer and you love programming, this is one field that is coming up big time. And so is our data engineering. This is another thing that is booming right now. You will see a lot of articles around it. You will see a lot of companies hiring around this role. Okay. And I would also like to mention quickly that we have a workshop around data engineering. If you want to understand, if you want to get a glimpse of data engineering, which I strongly suggest for you guys who are coming from IT and computer science background. So do attend this workshop, which is on 24th and 25th of July. It's going to be 2-hour session on Saturday, 2-hour session on Sunday by a super expert in this particular domain itself. And there you can also understand that, yes, whether, data engineering is something that I would really love to get in. So try to attend this workshop. And then we have our very, very basic course, which is called Business Analytics course, in which we teach. So when I say basic course, it's not that we don't want to teach you everything, but this is meant for people who want to venture into data analytics, but still not confident what I want to, have a specialization in. So do I want to be into visualization? Do I want to be in engineering part of it? Do I want to go in machine learning? I don't know yet. So what we say, okay, at least learn the basic, very fundamental tools that you require to get into analytics, that is R, Python, Excel, SQL, and VBA. So learn these 5 tools, and at least you will have a start of your career. And then as in when you are working and when you're learning, you're reading about this thing, then you can understand, okay, I like this or I don't like this. So this is about our programs. Any questions from anyone regarding your profile? Some specific questions if you have around analytics, like they've asked, what is machine learning? Any other questions you guys have? And one myth about this industry, that this is IT industry. It's not an IT industry. Number one, people feel it is meant for people from coding background. That's absolutely a myth. It's not meant for people who are coming from coding background. Think about it. When I started this journey in 2008 in analytics, that time you will be surprised that when we approached the companies to hire the candidates, all they wanted was stats eco math students. And stat eco math students don't have programming background, right? Because the foundation is not coding, the foundation is your understanding of statistics and the modeling techniques. That is a foundation. So if you're not coming from coding background, it's not that you can't survive this. You can very well, comfortably work in it. And if you don't like statistics, but you're very good with programming, again, this is something that, there's so many different variety of things that where you can fit in depending on what is your strength and not, what is your, not your strength. All right. Any question, guys? I will be happy to connect with you guys on LinkedIn if you have any question in future. Just look for my name. I should have opened my LinkedIn, but just look for my name, Ishani. Let me quickly do that. All right. That's me. And that's my LinkedIn profile. All right. So I will be more than happy to connect with you guys on LinkedIn. If you have any, in future, if you are able to think of a question, or, when you're discussing with your peers or your parents or your siblings, and you think of a question, then definitely let us know. And also to make your life little easier to make a decision and an informed decision, what we also do a lot in IB is we ask guys to come in for our classroom sessions, which is completely free of cost for you to join. What are the benefits if you come for our classroom sessions? The first 2 sessions you can complimentary, no cost attached, no fees attached, nothing. Come and attend it. What are the benefits? One, you get to understand who are all other people who are getting into this industry. So a lot of myths in your head go away. You get to see the quality of training, you get to see the training methodology, and you get to see the comfort of you with the tools that you're going to learn. So feel free to drop me an email or drop me a message on LinkedIn and ask that, okay, I want to avail this complimentary classes that you are giving, and these are a part of our ongoing batches. So it's not any special batches that we are doing. When our batches start, the first and the second session, that's the time we allow people to come and sit in it, because in between the sessions the difficulty might be there because the bases are not there. So please free to drop me a message to avail this complimentary sessions as well. All right, and if there are no questions, then we can wrap it up. Do connect with me on LinkedIn. We'll be happy to help you over there. All right. You guys have a good night. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chandrakant. Thank you, Vidu. I hope the session was useful. Thank you, Om Prakash. Thank you, Anushka. Take care. You have a good night.
Ma'am, can I ask
Yes,
one question? Ma'am, basically I'm a final year student,
absolutely.
and ma'am, I have basically I don't know basically what to do basically after graduation. My aim is to like every student's having the aim of data scientist, but
Mhm.
data scientist is a vast. So I had started learning like machine learning and deep learning. Now also started a visualization tools learning like
Okay.
Tableau, and I'd made three four projects on Tableau using Tableau,
Oh, wonderful.
and but don't know the exact path. Basically, I'd also done many projects on machine learning. Now I'm learning.
Exact path. See, machine learning. Okay, machine learning. Think about it as this: that if I have, let's say, 200 companies, okay, not all 200 companies are using machine learning, right? But all these 200 companies are using R and Python and their basic modeling techniques like logistic linear time series. So I would say, in order to get good also in machine learning, make sure you have your statistical concepts good
Yes.
and you learn these fundamental modeling techniques also. Okay.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yes.
learn Python properly, learn statistics, learn the application of statistics in Python, and then you progress in machine learning. Then when you're doing machine learning algorithms also, that will also start to make sense to you. That's why I did it. Because when you talk about machine learning, it's a mixture of maths and stats. Stats is an important component of it, right? And again, you want to be in such a place that yes, you want to project yourself, that's my strong area is machine learning, but if the fundamentals are not there in the first few rounds of interview only, they eliminate.
Okay. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
They might not give you a data set to start working on a machine learning algorithm as a first round of interview. It might be as simple as a SQL test.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yes,
So
ma'am.
few things that we are emphasizing on, that everybody should know Excel as a fresher, because that tool every company has, every company works with. SQL, because right now we are in a phase where it's not just one table or one database from where we work, there are multiples of it. So how do you link, how do you work with database, what is a good database design, how do you extract from multiple databases? That's very important, because till you don't extract, you can't give the data to other tools, right? So
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
R and Python, why I'm emphasizing on both, even though Python is the clear market leader right now, But whether a company uses R or Python or SAS, I feel it's more dependent on who the leadership is or what kind of clients I have. Same with Power BI and Tableau, right? Whether I should learn Tableau, whether I should learn Power BI depends on the company's environment, on the projects they have, and depends on the leadership also, right? So you should know some of the fundamental things, and then you get into machine learning. That would be my advice,
Okay,
right?
yes, ma'am. Yes,
And
ma'am.
even for visualization, don't just use Tableau to create beautiful charts. That's what I've seen people doing. They create extremely beautiful charts, but the whole point of visualization and dashboarding is that I am finding some insights into the data, or I'm doing a recommendation based on what I found out. So when you are creating your visualization, always have some text to what you understood about that data from the visualization you created. Otherwise, it's very
Yes.
incomplete work. And I see sometimes, there are 10 different charts. You've tried all charts possible of Tableau on it. But when you look at it as one single product, it looks more like a patchwork where I can see, okay, I'm reading individual charts, but it doesn't give me a story at the end. Or I don't know, I'm a little still confused. Okay, for whom did you create it? Is the business owner using it? Is the customer using it? Or a researcher is using it? Or a new person who wants to enter into business using it? Who is using it? So all these things you need to, have a clarification on. Okay.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I had also attended your previous boot camp that you had conducted
When?
on Tableau.
Okay. Yeah. So do
From yes, ma'am.
always think on the business side. That is what I keep on preaching to the young folks, especially. Always focus on the business side. Without understanding of the business, freshers can't survive. Just knowing the technical or the tool knowledge does not really help us in the industry. Your placements get tough. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye bye.